All right, folks, what is going on? Quick video. I want to talk about something a little bit outside of gaming. Something that I do occasionally on here is a health update. Nothing to be, concerned about. There's nothing crazy going on, but I do want to talk about it. But if anything gaming related, I want to talk about real quick before I get into that is RAM prices. RAM prices are supposed to be going up again. I know you probably saw some other videos about it. People are actually, uh panicking about it. I would say this: if you haven't got your RAM for your PC yet, go ahead and get it, because it is about to get kind of nuts. But I'll just leave it there. Uh, but for the most part, I do need to get a sticker RAM for my PC, and I'll probably make a video about that later on in the week. But nevertheless, let's talk about my health update. As you know, if you've been following me since what, maybe like late 2024, early 2025, I've been on a health kick with trying to get myself back in shape, trying to get myself back healthy. I found out I had type 2 diabetes at the time. I did reverse that. I don't have that anymore, but it had me more into trying to get myself in better physical shape. And I've been doing a great job of that. I've lost about 35, 40 pounds, and I am in really good shape. I feel great, or whatever the case may be. But the problem with my health right now is basically I'm being complacent. And complacency can really drive you to just be stagnant, or it can make you get to the point where you start gaining weight again. Now luckily, the last two times I've been to the doctor, I did not have that issue. I have not gained any weight. I've basically been around the 200-pound mark for the past, what, maybe 6 to 8 months, which is okay. But when my goal was to be around 185, this is where the complacency stuff comes in, because I reversed my type 2 diabetes. I lowered my cholesterol. I got everything in order, that everything was in good shape. But for the past 6 to 8 months, I just been maintaining to where I was just right there where I was when I first, got back into good graces with my health. Nothing has changed. I didn't gain any, I didn't lower any, and I know I need to do more, because I have to actually realize that just doing enough is not enough. When you really want to live this lifestyle and want to be healthy and be able to do things, just being right there where you need to be, where say, okay, I'm all right, and I don't have to worry about nothing. That's still flying too close to the sun. And what I want to do is try to go a little bit harder with my workouts. Basically, I need to get back to what I was doing when I was really scared for my life, that I was, having certain issues. I couldn't really sleep, comfortably. I had issues, breathing at night when I was sleeping. This is where I was up to like 240, 245. Now I'm down to like 200. I'm at 200. I think I'm at like 203. And right now I'm feeling really great. I sleep better. I move better. I've been doing so much. I've showed a lot of my workout results on this channel. If you go into the community tab, and it's just been phenomenal. I've been feeling great, but at the same time, I'm just where I'm doing just enough. You know what I mean? And I need to get to that point where I want my permanent goal to be the standard of how I'm living. Like, right now, I mean, my muscles are feeling great. I've been lifting a little bit. I feel a lot better. And, and I feel a little bit toned everywhere. My stomach is a little bit out there still, but it's not like where it was before. Excuse me. But I need to get to where I want to be. So I need to lose probably about another 20 pounds. I want to get down to like 180, 185, anywhere between there. And once I get there, I know that I'm good. And last time I did one of these videos, I said one of the main things that I'm having an issue with is my midsection. And I talked to my primary care doctor about it, and it was like, basically you're going to have to really change your diet. There are just some things you're going to have to, stop eating. And for me, I don't eat nothing crazy, or nothing like that. But if I really want to get rid of this midsection, I'm going to have to stick with the lean meats, lean seafood, and leafy greens, and basically green foods. And if I want to have a snack or whatever, it's either going to have to be like peanuts, walnuts, almonds, stuff like that. And I have to actually exercise more than what I'm doing now. What I do on the weeks, throughout the week, basically, I'll do maybe 20 to 30 minutes, light walking or whatever. And on Saturdays, or Sundays, I go to the YMCA where I actually really go all in. And it's just like, yeah, that sounds good when you do light workouts and you walk in and you just do everything on the weekend. That's just not good enough. You're going to have to get back into the cardio of what you did the first time when you lost the 40 to 45 pounds. You're going to have to get back into that, not only just because you want to lose the weight, you want to get your cholesterol down a little bit more. Now, my cholesterol isn't bad. I mean, like, none of my stuff is bad, but I do want to get it to the point where it is, a healthy amount to where I'm comfortable with, and I'm not there. It is still a little high. I wanted to get it down to where I'm at the mid to the lowest of the part of the healthy side. I don't want to be in the mid part of the healthy. I don't want to be in the high part of the healthy. I want to be down to the low part of the healthy side, so I know that my body's in optimal shape. Same thing with anything else, like my bad, my good cholesterol. I want the good cholesterol to be right where it needs to be in the area, so I don't have to worry about backsliding, where it's already in an optimal position, not where it's out of whack or close to being out of whack. I want it to be right where the good cholesterol is supposed to be, and I'm trying to get rid of that to the point. Well, get to that point so I don't have to worry about too much there. As far as my sugar intake, I am still, I'm not diabetic, so I'm good there. It's still been reversed, but at the same time, I still want those numbers to be a little bit lower than where it needs to be. So even though that I'm not diabetic, I still don't want to be anywhere close to where it's getting close to that area where I'm pre-diabetic. I don't want to get anywhere like that. I'm trying to get all the way down to where I need to be. So as far as that goes, I need to get back on my job because I was doing so great where, I was diabetic and it was like, not just borderline. I was like, I was out there. Type 2 diabetes was like really out there. My cholesterol was like sky high, and my doctor was really worried about me and she wanted me to get some other tests done because of the fact that, my cholesterol was out of whack or whatever. I mean, you can go back and look at some of my videos. Like, I always reference to my pickups video number 46. You go back and look at that video, and I was looking like crazy, right? I was like, I was looking crazy. So when I look at that and then I look at now, I'm like, okay, I'm looking, I'm all right. You know what I mean? So um when I go back and look at that and I had to work my ass off to get to where I am, I need to have that same mindset. Complacency is just not where it needs to be, and complacency is not what it needs to be. And if you're in that same situation, just because you're just maintaining, really look at yourself and see if that's healthy. Because sometimes maintaining is like not really where it needs to be. Sometimes you have to work a little bit harder. Because me, I want to be at the I want to be at the healthiest part where I don't have to worry about anything spiking, anything going crazy. And it's like I'm almost there to where I'm getting out of that range, where I'm getting out of the healthy range. And I don't want to be there. I want to get back down to where I was beforehand. And that just goes back to saying, like, hey, I got to get back on my job. I got to get back to actually doing this thing. And that's basically where I'm at with it right now. That's my health update. Everything is good. Nothing is really too much to worry about. I am in a good spot, but at the same time, I still got ways to go. So, with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll be back to talking about some more gaming stuff. Like I said, these RAM prices is getting out of control. And if you didn't get any RAM or you trying to build a PC, you better hurry up because it's starting to trickle over the motherboards and everything else. But we'll talk about that at a later time. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.